Okay, here's my messy desk. And here's the lab. That's our fame to our expensive equipment. Here's where my boss sits. But he's not in today. Here's the workbenches. When I first came here, I organized things, and then every time something was lost or my boss couldn't find it, he blamed me because I organized it, I mean, all the way, every time he can't find something 9 months later, it's still my fault because I organized things and I lost it. So here's where you plug a lot of light bulbs in and test them, but we don't do that anymore because China does that now. And here's a warehouse where they pack and ship stuff. Here's our RF center where we do some radiated testing. And there's all the bands. But we don't do much of that either. And this equipment is so old, it barely works. Alright, so down here we do some other funky testing. Here's our heat chamber where we bake stuff to death and make sure it doesn't fall apart. And here is one of the temperature tests for luminaire. We never use this area. It's like a storage area. Here's one of those what do you call it? Color temperature measuring systems. And here's where we do our temperature test. It's lab view based. Pretty simple. We got power supply, meter. Go through this computer. There's our fixture. Then we have a bunch of probes on different points. And it takes the data. Here's the data. And then we just make sure nothing like cooked too hard or fried. I mean, we have a spec on everything, And there's our sloppy engineering table. Here's the copy center. And here's a bench I use for tearing stuff apart sometimes. Here's like a multi-channel. It's just like a glorified meter. And we do some other stuff here. Here's our main power supply. And I also do testing here for input current and some other stuff. Here's our humidity meter. It's 23%. Everything has to be measured here. 24.5 degrees Celsius. Here's where we do our dielectric testing. Right there on this little bench. That's about it. There's some LEDs. And here's where we keep all our projects. Right here, it's kind of a big shipping disaster, but it's kind of like we keep projects in here. Like this was 1352. And here we have some floodlights. Here we have some par 38s. Those are like more spotlight, but you can get them like a floody spotlight if you want. So there's like the LED boards that go inside. We have like boatloads of this stuff in the back. And what else? It's a lot of bulbs. This is like a little 40-watt deal. See, this is a temperature probe thing. It's a thermocouple that you like put on different parts in there. That only has one, but sometimes you have a whole bunch of them. What's in there? Yeah. So we have to keep all this stuff. It all goes to UL. I mean, we have to send samples to UL, and they kind of confirm our testing and make sure everything's good. We have to take pictures of stuff torn apart, like right here in this bench, like really close, detailed photos. And you know, that's what it is. Here's some really good epoxy. I glue a lot of stuff with that. Well, anyway, so what's happening is, oh, here's thermocouple wire. I have to go make these little thermocouples, go weld them, and each one has to be perfect. Anyway, so this Chinese company is buying us out, and it looks like they're gonna wipe out engineering because they have their own engineering over there, and they have their own crappy UL compliance lab over there, which they really don't do a very good job. But what are you gonna do? So I don't care, I'll find something else, or maybe I'll just retire. You know, retirement sounds pretty good right now. Okay, so that's the tour of the lab. Let's see if we can catch the kitchen here real quick. See, this is a little metal shop. We glue stuff here, we pot stuff. It's like really sloppy. Sometimes we have to cut stuff open and examine it and then drill it and then sand it. And if we get dirty doing it, we just take a shower. Actually, it's a water spray test fixture back there. And we have to have all this equipment certified once a year. This is a big pain in the butt. And there is our vintage microwave. I have one just like it at home. It's built in 1980. It works great. And a nice clean refrigerator that I just cleaned out because we have no work and there's nothing else to do. Here's the earplug center. Anyway, so that's pretty much it. Here's your parts bin. You need parts. That's where to come to get them. There are the old style lamps, the compact fluorescent CFLs. There's another look at the warehouse. You wouldn't believe how many good bulbs they throw out just because they test them a little while and then they throw them out. So I have more LED bulbs than you can shake a stick at. Okay, so that wraps it up. Thanks for tuning in to the TCP report.